Suppose we position a parabola in the coordinate plane in such a way that the vertex is at the origin and the focus is on the x-axis. Let's say that the focus has coordinates a and 0 as shown on the picture. A could be a positive number or negative number. Now, since the vertex and focus are on the x-axis, then the axis of symmetry is the x-axis. And since the directrix is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry, the directrix is the vertical line. What is the equation of the directrix? We know that the vertex is halfway between focus and the directrix. So if the distance between focus and the vertex is absolute value of a, because the coordinates of the point F are a and 0, then the distance between the vertex and the directrix is also going to be absolute value of a. And the point through which that vertical line is going to have coordinates negative a. Remember, a is negative in our situation, so negative a is going to be positive number. And therefore the equation of the directrix is x equals negative a. Since a point on the parabola can be assigned coordinates x and y, as we have an example of one point here, point P, we can ask what is the relationship between the coordinates x and y of any point on the parabola. In other words, we are asking for the equation of the parabola. The definition of the parabola is that the distance between the point P and F is the same as the distance between point P and the directrix. If you follow the definition of the distance between a point and the line, as this is indicated on the graph, this is the distance between the point P and the directrix, we see that the distance between the point P and the directrix is simply the distance between the point P and the Q. And coordinates of the point Q will have to be negative a and y. This is clear from the picture. So equation of the parabola in our setting can be said to be that the distance between P and F is the same as the distance between P and Q. Since points P, F, and Q are points in a coordinate system, we can use the formula, the distance formula, to express those distances in algebraic terms. So the distance between P and F is the square root of the difference of the first coordinates of the point P and F, which will be x minus a squared, plus the difference of the second coordinates of those points, which will be y minus 0 squared. And similarly, on the other side, we'll get a square root. The distance of the difference between the first coordinates of the point P and Q are x minus a, which will become x plus a squared, and plus the difference of the second coordinates, which is y, in both cases. And we have the equation that shows the relation between x and y of any point on the parabola. We can simplify that equation by first squaring both sides, and therefore we'll get x minus a squared plus y squared is equal x plus a squared, and y minus y is 0. And now removing the parentheses will give me x squared minus 2ax plus a squared plus y squared is equal, on the other side, x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. Subtracting from both sides x squared and subtracting a squared and bringing x a term to the right, we'll get the equation y squared is equal 4ax. And this is the standard equation of a parabola with vertex at 0, 0 and the focus at the point a, 0. So in this equation, the a is the non-zero coordinate of the focus. The focus has coordinates a, 0. A is non-zero coordinate, and this is the same a that appears in that formula. To help us graph a parabola, we use the segment latus rectum. And how is that segment formed? It is the segment that goes through the focus and is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. So the segment with the endpoint A and the B is the are the endpoints of the latus rectum. And because we know that the distance between point F and A is double the distance between F and V, the distance between F and A is double absolute value of A, and so is the distance between F and B. This is twice as much as distance between focus and the vertex. And therefore, latus rectum's points are x coordinate is A, y coordinate is 2 absolute values of A. It's positive, and the B is going to be A, and since it's below x-axis, negative absolute value of A.